credits roll, there's a guy sitting there with 2 fancy drinks and people in bikinis going, "Thanks for watching." That's Dave Mandel. Dave had come from the world of Seinfeld. Originally, he came from SNL. He was a Harvard kid. He worked at SNL. If you ever saw Adam Sandler do Lunch Ladyland, Dave is the piece of pizza in the background.
What?
So he used to write for Saturday Night Live. After Saturday Night Live, he aggregated up to Seinfeld, and he wrote for Seinfeld for years. He was one of the writers. Him and Schaefer and Berg, those were his partners. When Seinfeld was over, everyone in town went to snatch up all the writers and gave them filthy rich fucking deals. So Dave was one of the writers they snatched up. Touchstone TV paid him a lot of fucking money, a ridiculous amount of money, to come write for them for 2 years, and he could do whatever he wanted. And they were like, "What do you want to do?" And he goes, "I want to make a cartoon of the movie Clerks." And they were like, "Do you know Kevin Smith?" He goes, "Not at all." So he came to Red Bank and met with us and pitched us on the Clerks cartoon, me and Scott in the diner and shit. He was just like, "Touchstone made me rich, and they asked me what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to do is a Clerks cartoon." And I was like, "Why? It's in black and white." And he's like, "We wouldn't do that." He's going, "It's a cartoon, we can do anything we want." And I was like what? And he goes, "Well, I want to use it to make a bunch of pop culture jokes." He's going, "You gave a perfect sitcom type setup, and we can go anywhere with it." We were all Simpsons fans, so naturally we wanted to do our version of The Simpsons. And Dave had me at, I wanted to do a Clerks cartoon. But he really had us in the palm of his hand when he pitched his first joke. Because I was like, "Well, what's your idea of pop culture humor and stuff?" And he goes, "I want to do a scene where the boys are talking about watching a movie, and the movie is called Flintstones List." And I was like, "Flintstones List?" He goes, "Yeah, man, remember how like Spielberg made Schindler's List and he produced the Flintstones in the same year?" He's like, "Well, I want to do this joke where they're watching Flintstones List." And I was like, "What's the joke?" He's like, "The joke is we cut to the movie and they're loading cavemen up onto a train car." He's going, "And then the train car door closes, their feet come out, and the train walks away." I said, "I can't do that joke." He goes, "I'm Jewish, so I can." And I said, "Sold," and shit. And the Clerks cartoon was born. Our title tonight, "Bear is Driving," comes from an ad-lib line that Dave made up on the spot when we were locking episode 2? 5? 4? It's the courtroom episode. 4, thank you. Well remembered. Basically, before we put the whole thing to bed, we mixed with the boys, recorded with the boys. We were grabbing all the other voices and shit. And just before we locked, Dave was like, "I feel like we should do a voiceover for the Korean animation bit." He's going like, "I know the joke is written in print about like they lost the ending, so they made up their own ending." He's going, "But I think it'd be funny if we did like a scratch track where like one of the animators just like started saying shit over the top of it."